Hello, welcome to the video. In this one, I want to do an income report because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've talked about how much money I've actually been making. The last one I did was September, I think. I'll have a look, but anyway, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is everything sort of kicked off. There's a phrase where sort of nothing really happens for a while. You're grinding, then everything happens at once. And that's kind of how it feels at the moment. I'm inundated with orders and it feels overwhelming. But that's good and bad. So it means there's demand for my products, especially this time of year. It is candle season. So it'll be interesting if I do one in January, February, just to see, can I maintain what I'm doing now? Because I'm hoping I can kind of ride this wave, ride that snowball, and then that builds. And I've just created followers and customers that just keep coming back and buying. I think with Amazon as well, the more you sell, the better you do. So the more they push and promote you. So that's kind of what I'm planning, just to absolutely cane it during Q4, the Christmas period, and then keep that momentum going. So a bit of a backstory as well. There's going to be a few different income streams in here, so it's not just candle selling or candle making. I never really planned on being a candle maker. It's just how I've ended up. And this is a combination of the last 4 years of work and trying things and seeing what sticks and giving up on things and then trying a few other things. So, as I was saying, the backstory, it essentially started out when I was 16, 17. I started building websites and I started doing things online, like a bit of SEO and building backlinks and building microblogs and trying to make some money through AdSense or doing some affiliate sales. So that's going to be a little bit of what's in here as well. So I've got income from some blogs. I've got income from Amazon affiliates. So what essentially I want to create is like a little pie chart with lots of different incomes. So I'm not just reliant on one thing. So for instance, January, February, March, like the candle sales die, I've got income coming from YouTube, or I've got income coming from affiliate sales or my blog. So it's kind of like a harmonious environment. Anyway, let's go look at the figures, because that's probably why you came here, to be nosy and see what's going on. So as I said, this isn't to brag, anything like that. It's just to show what's possible. I really enjoy these kind of income reports. Is what I used to like watching on other people's channels, especially when I'd go back to the beginning of their videos and see where they were to where they are now, because then it actually makes it look possible, because you can kind of reverse engineer what they've done to get to a certain point. And I think in one of my other videos, I said I could give you all the knowledge to replicate what I've done, but you might not be able to do that because you haven't done the necessary steps to get there and your brain's not in the same place. So, yeah. Anyway, we will jump to the shared screen in just one moment and I'll go through all the figures. There we are, the shared screen. So I'm going to do this in a slightly more suspenseful manner. I'm going to reveal each bit with this box I've created on there, so it will have a bit of suspense and it'll be a bit more exciting. Normally I just have the figures up there so you can just see everything straight away, but I'm just going to go through each bit and why I've picked that revenue stream, basically. So the first one is obviously Amazon FBA. Before I started making candles, I was doing Amazon arbitrage. So that's basically buying and selling stuff. So I'd find online deals for things like Legos and toys, or even food and collectibles, and I'd buy them at a certain price and try and sell them for a higher price. You would think people wouldn't do that on Amazon, but because it's next day delivery, people don't really shop or anywhere else. They will buy stuff on Amazon, even if it's ridiculously priced compared to what I bought it for. So that was the business model I started, and it did quite well. I made quite a lot of money from it. It's just, it didn't really have an end goal because I was constantly looking for the next deal, and it just became tiresome. And I was in a few different communities which would share links to deals, but as soon as that link got leaked or too many people got on that link, it would just tank the listing. So for instance, there could be 10 people, 20 people, 30 people selling the same thing, and it just sounds like a penny pinching war going down to the bottom. So that's why I started making candles. I had a brainwave one day. I could make it, it'll be easy, and I'll create a brand. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create my own brand, my own thing that I had control of, that no one could take away. And here we are. This is why I'm doing it on Amazon, and it's scalable as well. Because I've got a full-time job as a chef, I can't go to the post office every day. I can't constantly deliver stuff. I can't be that involved. Whereas Amazon FBA, I could pack a big box, I can ship it over there, and it's done. There are a lot more fees on Amazon than I do make from my website, but it's easy. And despite the fees being high, I'm also selling on the biggest shop in the world. So there's a lot more eyeballs. Let's have a look at the figures then. So Amazon FBA, the total I sold in November is £13,412, which is absolutely incredible. Like, that is insane. That is big boy numbers. That, I can't quite believe it. And that's 818 units, which is also mental. My previous sort of plan and goal was to max out at 400 candles a month. In my head, I was like, right, the most amount of candles I can make is 400. Any more than that, and I'm going to be killing myself. But I've managed to unlock new levels of like efficiency, being a bit more streamlined, realizing I can actually do more than what I think I'm capable of. Like when think I'm at capacity, there's probably about another 60% left in terms of output. So I've really pushed myself just to make the most of it whilst it's Q4 and whilst the market's there and whilst people are buying. I want to try and maximize the amount of people I can get reviews, the amount of people that see it, the amount of people that might come back and buy it or go to my website, that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. And with that, I've made £3,491 profit, which is about 26% margin for November, which is really cool. The margin for last month was about 24%. So I've slightly increased my price, and that has just helped with margin, which means I've made a bit more money from the actual amount I've sold. I've also inadvertently decreased the amount of ad spend I have. So on the right hand side, I spent £622 on adverts. I think last month I spent about £800 on adverts. So there's a caveat to this. I haven't done it on purpose. It's because I keep going out of stock, because I'm selling so many candles on Amazon that they stop displaying the adverts because they're not there. So yeah, it's a happy accident that I've reduced the ad spend. I've also had 11 refunds. Now, every refund I get is annoying. It hurts a little bit. I'm better now because I'm doing so much volume that I don't really think about it. I can't please everyone. I think the refund rate is about 1.5%. In the restaurant, if I sell 100 dishes, one person's not going to like it, or I'm going to make a mistake. There's so many things that can happen. As long as 99% of the people like it and are happy with it, that's good. You can't please everyone, and that's something I'm just trying to get my head around, especially with the candles and just with everything. So yeah, and those 11 refunds do cost you money as well. But on the grand scheme of things, 11 refunds out of 818, that's not bad. It's not bad. So I'm happy with that. That overall is excellent. And that's a massive boost for me going into December. The plan is now to try and make 1,000 candles and sell 1,000 candles. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that because it's a big ask. But every time I think I can't do something, I manage to do it. I managed to unlock like a new level, and that's how I kind of treat this. I treat it like a game. I'm just unlocking new levels of capabilities. I'm learning as well. I'm learning new skills. I'm learning new ways to do things that I can actually just do the thing. It is possible. So that's Amazon wrapped up. Super happy with that. And just incredible. Like, I didn't think that was possible. Now, the next thing we'll move down to is Mediavine Grow. So if you're not aware of what that is, it's basically adverts. So what I wanted to do in the beginning was have a harmonious, like, pie chart of income. So I'd sell a few candles here. I'd have some income coming from my blog. I'd maybe do a course. I'd maybe do an ebook, or I'd have a bit coming from YouTube, a bit coming from other things. So it's all just working in harmony, and I'm not just reliant on physically making something and selling it. So I've got a blog, and it's a mixture of AI created articles I've paid for, things I've been trying to rank on YouTube, to rank on like Google. So people search for something, I come up, they click on the article, have a little read, and there's adverts on there, and then I get paid a certain amount of adverts. This is something I haven't been doing for a while. So I was doing with AdSense, and you don't make a lot from AdSense. I recently got accepted to Mediavine Grow, or Journey, or whatever it's called. Normally Mediavine, you need like 50,000 sessions per month to get into, and I've had nowhere near that. My goal was to get towards that, but I'm getting about 10,000 sessions per month, which is the entry level for Mediavine Journey. So it just pays a bit more than AdSense. So at the moment I'm getting about $2.5 a day. So that might equate to about £2 a day, hopefully. I haven't been running the ads for the whole period of this month. It's only recently. Because the way Mediavine works is it's quite intrusive. It does take a lot of your space up. And it was on all of my websites. So basically people would go into my shop, look for my candles, and then all adverts everywhere. And that just looks horrible. It didn't look professional. And I spent ages trying to find a way to get the adverts to only show on my blog. So I paid some guy on Fiverr to do it, and he sorted it out. And then that stopped working. So I had to try and do a few bits myself. Eventually, I think I've got it sussed. So the adverts only show on my blog and not on my shop. So now that thing is running fully. I think I can expect to make at least $2 a day and maybe a bit more. The longer the ads run, the more it gets used to my website and the content and the kind of things it needs to deliver to people in order to maximize revenue. So hopefully this number will increase. If I can get it to increase from like $2 to maybe $5 a day, then that is wicked. That pays for some postage, that pays for, I don't know, my phone bill, that kind of stuff. Just works out awesomely. At the moment, if it's doing $2 a day, that's paying for my phone bill and something else. So it might not be life-changing amounts of money, but all these little bits add up, and it's something just running in the background. Granted, I've put in a lot of work so far and spent a lot of time on articles and trying to rank stuff and paying for backlinks. So there's no way this is going to pay off the amount of time and effort I've put into it, but it will just keep churning in the background. I did almost stop this for a while because I just got hit with Google updates and they just decimated my rankings, because there's a period where, like last year, I was getting 500 to 600 views a day, and that is like proper good traffic. And then that just tanked down to like 100, 200, and now it's about 250 to 300 views a day, which is really good still. So I'm hoping that number will just grow. And then YouTube. YouTube is something I'm very pleased with. I've been the most consistent I've ever been with YouTube. So I think I've been posting a video at least once a week, maybe twice a week for the last year, I think now. So it's about this time last year where I started doing Vlogmas. I just wanted to get into the habit of just producing content and doing it. Some of the videos are good, some of the videos are crap. It's just how these things go. But I wanted to just get out of my shell of just waiting for the perfect opportunity to make the best video I could possibly make, or something or like this, and instead just producing content and getting it out there. So just doing that 25-day challenge took my ad revenue from like $5 a month to $20 a month. And then slowly over the course of this year, by just being consistent with it, it's gone from $20 to $25 to $30 to now it's at $63 a month, which equates to £48.69, which is really good. That's 50 quid a month from my videos, and that's only going to keep growing. The way YouTube works is it's a backlog of videos. People will keep watching them. They'll turn up. I've got a video I made about a year ago, which is getting 150 views every other day. And that has just increased, and it's just going up and up and up. And that took 6 months for that to even do anything. So sometimes when I post a video and it's only got 300 views, I get disappointed because it just hasn't done as well as I thought. But in 6 months' time, that could just ping off and just suddenly I'm making a few quid from it. So that one video I just talked about, which is, what is a video? It's like the best candle wax or something. It's not even very good. Like, I'm much better at making videos now. I'll come across in a certain way. But that's maybe $50, and that's got me 450 subscribers. So just because I haven't had an immediate success doesn't mean it isn't going to be good in the future. And everything I do on YouTube is just compounding and building up those assets, which will just keep generating money and revenue. So at the moment, 50 quid isn't a lot of money. Like I said previously, that will pay for a phone bill. That will pay for something else. It all just adds up, and it's just sort of passive. I hate the word passive because you have to do the work and you have to do the thing in the first place to get there. But if it keeps growing, that's wicked. My ultimate goal isn't to make money through AdSense. At some point, I want to sell digital products, whether that is a candle course where I've condensed down my knowledge, everything I've made and done in the last 4 years, because I think that is valuable. I think that is something people would be interested in. And it's definitely something I would have bought previously to just jump that gap in order to fill the knowledge in. You can't learn everything online, but it just needs time and testing. But I think there's so much value I've got that I can condense that down into product and actually be quite good. Because I try and share everything I'm doing through YouTube. I'm not trying to do any sleazy sales. That's not the goal of this. It's to share my journey and to show you guys what is actually possible, and for me to look back on in the future just to see where I've come from and what I've done. Because sometimes I do get carried away. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. And then I sit down and do a video like this where you'll see at the end, I'm like, wow, actually I've done really fucking well this month compared to last year. So it's just interesting for me to document the journey. So we'll move on. Oh, yeah, so the last time I did a YouTube income report, I made £18. So it just goes to show several months on, it's £50 now. So let's go down to affiliate income. So if you look in the sort of box below YouTube, I've got some links down there. They're to products I use. Might be my wax melter, might be my printers, might be some paper. If someone clicks that and buys something, I get a little bit of money for it. So I made £14.79. It's not a lot of money. I think the most I maybe made was about £30, but it is something. It all adds up. It's something for nothing. I'm just promoting the stuff I'm using, so I might as well do it. The more videos I make, the more those links are going to be out there. The more people that might click on it, the more people that might see it. I've also got them in some of my blogs, so it all just adds up. The next thing we've got is Amazon Influencer. So this is something I joined in February. Basically now, I think to keep up TikTok, Amazon have got videos that are user submitted, like under the products or in the products or somewhere like that. So for instance, if I buy one of those wax melters I've talked about and make a video on it and then post that, if someone watches that video and buys that, I get commission for it. So I made £36.37 from that in the last month. So I've got all sorts of videos on there. There's one talking about the Hoover I use, one talking about some of the supplements I've used, maybe some protein powder. I've even reviewed like Pepsi Max. I've reviewed loads of stuff. I've probably made about 100 videos, I think. Some of them have done well, some of them have done poorly. I was going to try and do like 100 videos a month for it, but the return on investment in time doesn't seem worth it at the moment. In October, I think I made £90 from Amazon Influencer, which was good, and that did make me think it's worthwhile, but it's becoming quite saturated now. There's a lot of people doing it, and I think that's what happened in America. Like, it's super popular in America, and there's even people in the UK creating Amazon Influencer videos for stuff in America and making bank with it, making some coin. But the more and more people do it, the harder it is for your video to show up. There's only like 4 spots. So if someone clicks on the thing, there's 4 spots at the top. So if there's 20 videos in there, the chances yours being there are quite slim. So I think as it's become more popular and more people have joined it, some of my videos have been knocked down. Now, I haven't spent a lot of time on my videos. I will just go, here's a quick review, blah, 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 and I'll just showcase what I've done. So I'm not spending time on it. So to make almost 40 quid from it for something that's taken me a couple of minutes isn't too bad. I think I will just keep doing the odd review every now and then and seeing what sticks. The best performing one I did is my shark hoover that I use for like hoovering up pet hair and stuff. That made me like 40 quid last month. I think things like that work better, like tech, where people are looking at something and they want to see how it works, rather than me reviewing a bottle of Pepsi Max. So yeah, 36 quid. Like I said, another phone bill or something like that. For some reason, the only bills I can think of are phone bills. So I don't know. My brain just isn't working properly. And then from my website, from Shopify, that's a total of £1,818 worth of gross sales with a profit of $727. So that's probably about 40% margin. I make a lot more from my website because the fees are a lot less. I don't spend money on advertising. They charge like a 1% fee for using their platform. It just makes a lot more money. Whereas Amazon, I make more like 25% margin on everything. Shopify is much better. It's just more profitable. It is more work though. For me to maybe send 10 orders, even once the candles are made, probably takes me like an hour and a half by the time I've done the boxes. I write little handwritten cards. Just, I want to offer a slightly more wholesome gift experience than Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is, right, I've got a gift, it's coming next day. If you buy from me directly, I want to make it more of an experience. So I do a little handwritten card. I put a little gift in. It might be like a little free wax melt or something. And I package it up nicely and I just make it more thoughtful. So the whole thing does take me time. So I love it and I hate it. It is time consuming, but it's more rewarding because I'm building up like a loyal tribe of people that are invested in me, my candles, my journey. And I love that. I like it. The con is it's just very time consuming. I think in the future, when I've replaced my job, hopefully one day, maybe, who knows, then I can spend a bit more time on my website promoting it and doing more stuff, because I will have the time just to do it better. And I can dedicate a certain wrapping station and a certain place to do it. Whereas at the moment, I just get everything out and just make a mess trying to do these orders and write these notes. It's just awful. Yeah, moving on. We'll have a look at the wholesale orders. So I think I've said previously, I don't really go out of my way to do wholesale, but if people come to me, I'll do it. I've adjusted my business model. Before I just accepted anything because I thought any sale was good. Now I've got like a minimum of like 15. I think I should probably up it. So 15 orders gets me about 110 quid. I think I need to up the price of my wholesale. So last month I sold 730 gross, and I think the profit on that is £185. So the profit margin on that's probably more like 30-35%. I don't make quite as much from wholesale because you basically have your cost of goods and I just double it. And it doesn't make a lot. So for me to make a candle probably costs £3.50, 4 quid. I'm selling it for £7.50, which isn't a lot. I should probably sell it for £8. But there's part of me that is like, if I sell it for too much, they're never going to buy it. I have all these conflicting things. But there's a few shops as well that I work with, and I can basically sell them some of my projects, some of the things I've started. So I'm always doing stuff. I'm always buying stuff. I've got so many different candle jars and incense and things. So it's been quite a good way to shift some of the stuff I've got, because I am just tempted to bin some of it now because I'm just collecting crap. I've got different things I've started. I've got things over there. I've got jars from like 4 years ago. I've got other bits. I'm just like, I do want to sell it on eBay, but I know I'm not going to. I know I'm not going to spend the time taking the photo. So whether I just give it away on Facebook or something, I don't know. At least it's shifted some of that stuff to them and I've made a bit of money. I might have only sold it for the cost, but it's money rather than me just getting rid of it. So the wholesale is pretty good. I've had quite a lot of people reach out to me in the last month. I think, one, my products look very cool now. They're something different. There's not many people in the UK doing what I'm doing. So when people see it, they go, oh, that's different, and then send me a message. So I'm pleased with that. I'm not going out my way to find wholesale people, mostly because I can't be asked. It's a lot of effort making it, to sell it for not that much money, and then to package it and then deliver it. I find it tedious. Obviously, I can't moan about people paying me for stuff. Like, it's good. Me or 4 years ago would be killing to be in this situation. So for me to moan about people giving me money sounds ludicrous, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Whew, that's a lot of talking so far. Let's have a look at the grand total. So that brings us to a total revenue of £16,076. We'll ignore the pence, which is fucking nuts. Like, just insane. That's what an actual shop would do, and I'm doing it in my spare time whilst I'm working full time in a spare room. So yeah, man, that's crazy stuff when I actually stop and think about it, and think about the amount of candles I've probably produced there. It's probably 1,200 candles, maybe, in 30 days, in my spare room, whilst I'm working full time. Philippa, my partner, she is helping me, which is lovely. She does a lot of labeling, stuff like that. So it's not just me, but when I actually stop and think, that is just insane. And when I look at the profit as well, I have to keep looking because I'm looking at my laptop. That's £4,519, which is just nuts. When I look back at this time last year, I think I did £2,000 profit. So yeah, mental stuff. I am super happy. Like, it just blows my mind. When I'm in it doing it, I never really think about it. It never feels like I've made as much progress as I want. It never feels like I'm where I'm supposed to be or where I want to be. It all just takes time. That's what I've not allowed myself to think about. I've not given myself the time to do it. I mean, I have, but I've not given myself the mental bandwidth to do it. I'm like, if everyone else can do it online and it looks like they've done it in a year, why can't I? Everyone's got their own race and everyone's got their own journey. Mine's just taken me longer because I've stopped and started. I've looked for the perfect candle and that doesn't exist. I've just made something good, which I'm happy with, and I've gone with it. I've got my branding down now. It's all very cohesive. I've got a unique selling point. Like, everything I've done and learned has got me to this point. Now, you might think £4,500 is a lot of money and I should be living like a king. No. All of that money is basically going back into my business. It's going back into buying stock. It's going back into buying wax. It's going back into fragrance oils, wicks, jars, all that kind of stuff. I've slipped a little bit into crypto. I'm hoping to hit like a bit of a bull run and maybe make some money. Every time I've done that, I've lost it. So we'll see about that. But I'm not taking anything out for myself. I'm not buying anything for myself. I'm not using it for myself. I haven't bought any new clothes in ages. I've got a crappy car from 2007. Like, I'm not doing anything with it. I've got to pay a tax bill. I've got to pay some other things. This doesn't take into account all of my other bills. So it doesn't take into account my Shopify bills, my Canva account, ChatGPT, all the monthly outgoings. It doesn't take into account those. It just takes into account what I've sold, basically, and a rough cost of goods. So at some point, I'd love to go into the full nitty-gritty details, but that might be too much personal information because it'll be going into proper accounts and I'd have to get the accountant to go through all of it. It's just too much. This is just rough face value, what I've sold and how much profit I've made from it, minus the subscriptions and other bits and other things. It doesn't take into account me spending money from my actual wage on loads of incense, which was a failed product, or loads of lip balm, which was a failed product, or other candle jars, which were a failed product. It doesn't take into account that stuff. It just takes into account, very black and white, what I've sold and how much it costs. So yeah, I don't want people to think I'm just balling in money and then I'm just going to buy a Lamborghini and move to Dubai. It's not like that. And what I'm trying to do is all of the money that comes in, I'm trying to use it to just grow slowly and just expand and compound on what works and slowly expand that. Use that money wisely. Use it for outsourcing things that I hate. So I might start using it for social media. I'll start paying a guy to do my Amazon adverts. Like, things I hate doing and I can't be bothered to do, I'm going to start paying people to do because that will just make life a bit easier. I haven't posted anything on my Instagram account since the beginning of November. I go through phases where I'm doing loads of it and then I stop. So I might just pay someone £100 a month just to do that. So it's trying to think logically about what I can do next to scale my business. So there we are. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. In my head, this is going to be a 10-minute video, but we're now getting on for half an hour. All of my videos recently have been quite long, so hopefully you like it. You like the long videos. These are the kind of things I just stick on the background when I'm like making candles or when I'm going for a walk or when I'm driving. Like, I'll just listen to people talk and I find it quite interesting, like people's journeys, people's stories and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I am incredibly happy and very grateful. I've met a lot of good people along the way doing this, but it is 4 years of work. It isn't an instant overnight success. It's taken me a long time to get here. I don't want people to think it's just easy. There's so many times when I wanted to give up candles. I'm like, even now, like, I'm spending too much time doing it. I'm ignoring a lot of family. I'm not spending as much time with loved ones. Like, I'm spending all my time doing this to grow it. So hopefully I have more time in the future and freedom to do those other things. So I'm kind of sacrificing a bit now for the future. So yeah. Anyway, before I start fucking rambling on and waffling on about other stuff, we'll leave it there. If you liked it, give it a like. Let me know what you think down below. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos about candle making, entrepreneurship, all that kind of stuff. I'll see you later. Bye.